So again, thank you so very much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to be able to present to you the Global Business School for Health. So before I get talking really about our specific programs, I want to tell you just a little bit about the school that you would be a part of. The Global Business School for Health is the first business school in the world dedicated to health and healthcare. All of our programs have a health focus because healthcare is such an important sector today. You know, historically, there's been lots of emphasis on other business sectors, but there's probably not as interesting as the health sector. And the health sector, as we all know, is growing at an exponential rate. Across the world, countries spend approximately 10%, with some countries almost spending 20% of their GDP on health and health care services and products. So this is an incredibly growing, fast-paced sector that I'm sure many of you will want to engage in, be in. It's also so important. We've got aging societies. We have lots of different kinds of diseases because of lifestyle changes. As we all know, we've all been in a pandemic for the last couple of years. It's created all sorts of awareness about the need to improve our health and healthcare systems. So we've created a suite of programs that really are cross-cutting. They'll give you the opportunity to get the business and management skills, but also learn about health and healthcare. You don't have to be a healthcare expert to come into our programs, but you will leave a healthcare expert when you finish our programs. So I'm going to start by taking you through our MSc programs. I just want to mention too that we have an MBA in health, and it is, I'm not going to speak to it today, but you might check that out as well if you've got work experience and like to have an MBA experience. These MSc programs are specifically designed for students who want to come in and learn about a particular subject area within business and management and also health. So you'll notice throughout our programs that we've made them very specific so that you can really gain a specialism and add something very niche to the market and to your future employers. So the first program I'm going to speak about today is our, just one second, is our program in digital health and entrepreneurship. This program is really a very exciting program. I think all of you are probably aware that digital health is one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing sector in any economy across the world right now. And when we talk about digital health, we are talking about health tech. So we could be talking about things like wearables. Many of you might have Apple Watches that capture all sort of health data. You might have an iPhone or another kind of phone that capture health data. So there's that kind of health tech. There's devices that people can use in their homes. And then there's med tech, the whole area around how we use technology, mainly in a hospital setting, but also how we use things like AI. So this course is really designed for people who've got that entrepreneurial spirit, who've got ideas, who want to take their ideas and think about how they can take those digital health solutions forward. So this is a really exciting program. I think it offers a lot for a very large segment of people who are interested in digital solutions, digital healthcare, and digital health. So just to tell you a little more about this program, and of course, you're going to gain lots of different skills in this program. You'll not only, you'll have a module on things like digital health and entrepreneurship, but you'll also learn about human factors of digital health. You'll learn how to do health assessments and assess different kinds of technology. You'll learn about different health systems and their ability to use or not use technology. So you'll really get a grounding. You'll take a course in telemedicine and AI, one in digital opportunities, as well as marketing, because much of what you're going to have to do if you want to be an entrepreneur in the digital health space is be able to pitch your ideas forward. So the admissions requirement for this program is a 2-1. And if you are someone who doesn't have necessarily a UK degree, but you've got extensive work experience and you can evidence that, we will consider your application as well. We're looking for people who have an IELTS of at least 6.5 or above, and nothing less than a 6 across the subject areas. You'll also have to write a personal statement, and that personal statement will be very important for this program. We're looking for people who are innovators, who are creative, who want to take ideas forward in the digital space, who might want to be entrepreneurs or in their own company, or they might want to be creators and entrepreneurs and product developers in somebody else's company. So really take some time on your personal statement. And then you need at least one reference, and that reference should be somebody who really knows you well and can write on your behalf and give us a sense. That can be an academic reference, or it can be a professional reference. So who's this program for? Well, as I said, you can be a new or recent graduate, or you can be somebody who's been out in the work field for a while, want to feel like you got some gaps in your education. Maybe you're a scientist or you know, an entrepreneur or somebody in computer science who's got some great ideas about digital and space and digital health or health technology, and you want to come and really have the opportunity to fill those gaps and learn so you can take your ideas forward. So it's really open to a real breadth of individuals, and it's an opportunity for you to be among a very diverse group of people who are really interested in entrepreneurship and digital health. So I'm going to tell you a little more about the program, because it really is truly a very exciting program. Now, all our programs, of course, have a 1-week induction, but we go a little bit further than you might find in other schools and programs. We will help you with career coaching right from the very beginning. We'll sit with you, we'll make sure that you can visualize what you want out of the program. We'll also have some self-paced courses on global health that you can take to just kind of help hone your skills. We also have some on study skills and time management, so that when you finally start your program, you're really ready to take off. So it's very important that we also want to build a sense of community, bonding with you and your colleagues on this program. The program itself, you're going to take 8 modules. They're all compulsory, and you're going to do 2 projects. As I mentioned just a second ago, those modules will cover everything from marketing to business planning to you know, how you do a startup. You'll do a business simulation of a startup as part of your module on digital health and startups. You'll learn across a variety of different skill sets. You'll pull all that together in 2 projects. So one of the things that we find when we talk to employers is they're very interested to make sure that you can collaborate, that you know how to work on a team and have done a team project. So we see these projects not just as important assessments, but opportunities for you to use those projects and the outcomes of those projects to help you get a job. So you will work on a project where you will work with a group of students. We'll put you in the group at the very beginning of your program. You'll work across, we'll have workshops and different tutorials across the year to help you build up your program. You'll also have what we call industry mentors, people from companies who will mentor you along with your academic supervisor as you go forward with your project. Your project will be about taking a digital health idea, developing it into a business plan and a pitch that you could possibly do for a funder to get funding to fund your idea. So that's your first project. And then your second project is a shorter research project where you can take one of your ideas forward working with an academic supervisor. So it's a great opportunity to not only get the research skills and think very clearly about what you want to do, but also an opportunity to work on a project with people from a company. The second program so that's our digital health and entrepreneurship program. Now I want to talk about our MSc in biotech and pharmaceutical management. Again, I'm sure everyone on this call knows that biotech and pharmaceutical management and biopharmaceutical management are areas that are really taking off at a very rapid rate. Much of the solutions and work around COVID has really honed in how important these companies are. But they're not just about, science and discovery. It's about the people who can develop those products, do the strategy, create the supply lines, the processes, and push them out into the market. So that's really what we do. This program isn't about teaching you the science. It's about teaching you the business of pharmaceuticals and biotech management. So this is a great program for a variety of students, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But it's really about getting that interaction. It's about really, and you'll find this in all our programs, by the way, they're all very cross-disciplinary. So the idea of this program is that, again, you might be someone who wants to have a startup company, or you want to join an existing biotech or pharmaceutical business. Lots of the companies, by the way, in the biotech and pharmaceutical space are small companies, and many of them often end up merging with larger companies later on. So this program is really quite exciting, and again, very novel in the sense that it sits in a business and management school. Again, if I mention the admissions criteria, you have to have a 2-1 or extensive related work experience. The IELTS are slightly higher for this program. You have to have a 7 or above, and no area less than a 6.5. And again, you need a personal statement, and that personal statement should be very much customized to the biotech and pharmaceutical program, and you need one reference. So let me talk again a little more about this program. This program will help you really relate and understand the biotech and pharmaceutical market. So in your first term, you're going to be taking lots of modules that will help prepare you. So this program is great if you've already got a biotech background, or you've done pharmacy as a bachelor's degree or a science degree. But you can also come on to this if you've got an economics background or a business background. So again, we'll have some primers that you can take to kind of upskill yourself and help you, again, think about what you want to do. So this could be for you because you may work in a consultancy capacity, and maybe you already, you might even have a PhD in biotech or pharmacy or science, and you want to pivot over into the biotech and pharmaceutical market. This is also ideal for you. It's a program that really will help you understand the business side. As I said, we're not going to teach you the science, but we will teach you the business. So again, there's a 1-week induction. We'll talk to you a lot about your personal development, your vision for the program, what you hope to do afterwards. We'll get you that career coaching that you need. We'll put you into, again, you're going to work on a project, and then you will take, similar to digital health, but very different modules. You will take 6 compulsory modules, and you'll work on 2 projects. You will have one module that's 30 credits. So in your first term, you'll have a 30-credit module in clinical trials and statistics. You'll take a module in pharmacoeconomics, and you'll take a module in the dynamics, policies, and practice of biotech and pharmaceutical management. In your second term, you're going to get much more business in the sense of you'll have a biotechnology module in commercialization of research ideas. You'll have a module on the commercialization and marketing of pharma. You will also take supply chain management for healthcare, and you'll take a module that's really going to be important for this program, capital and private equity markets in healthcare. These modules will then prepare you for your final projects. Your final projects, again, is developing a business idea for a new drug or biotech product and creating the business case, as well as creating a presentation and pitch. You'll work on teams on these projects. All the projects are team projects. And then you'll have a 30-credit dissertation that you'll do as part of this program. So again, extremely exciting. and an opportunity to really get some business skills that can be complemented with your bachelor's degree. And then that brings me now to the third MSc that I want to talk to you today about. This is our Global Healthcare Management. And you'll see that it says Global Healthcare Management with roots. So what's a root? Well, a root is a specialism. So this is like not a very unique master's program in the sense that you'll take some common modules across the program, but you'll also have the opportunity to get some highly specialized modules in your specialism. And that's what we call a root at UCL. So this is a program that really will help you understand the kind of contemporary healthcare landscape, develop your leadership and management skills, also really understand diversity, equality, inclusion in the workplace, which is very important in today's world. Also, you'll have a changing health systems module where you'll really get to see a variety of health systems, countries, and as part of your program. And then again, you will have an opportunity to work on a project, a group project, and also do your research. So it's a fantastic program for anyone really interested in either getting into healthcare or already working in healthcare and want to accelerate your career or pivot your career more into a leadership role. So I'm going to talk about the specialisms in just a minute, but before I do that, here is the general admissions and entry requirement for this program. You need to have a 2-1, or as I've said on the programs, extensive relevant work experience that you can evidence to us. In terms of IELTS for overseas students, you'll need a 6.5 or above on, and you will need at least a 6, I believe, in all the sub areas. You'll need your personal statement, and again, that has to be customized to this program. We've got to really see that you understand the program and the specialism. So the 3 specialisms you can do on this program are leadership, analytics, and finance. And I'll talk just a minute about those more. So who's this program ideally for? As I just said a minute ago, this is for managers, change makers, people who really want to get into the management and leadership of healthcare or are already in the leadership and management, but want to push themselves up, pivot themselves up the ladder into either a more specialized, senior executive role, or they want to, just to maybe move over from the clinical side to the real management side. There's all sorts of opportunities here in this program, depending also on the specialism you take. So how does this program work? So this program, again, we have a 1-week induction, and prior to the induction, you'll have the opportunity to take some online primers, is what we call them, to really get a feel for what it is to manage your time. If you've been out of study for a while, you might need time management, study skills. We have those courses that you can take. They're self-paced, and you can take them before you start the program. And we recommend all the students take a module in global health, so we're all starting at the same place. In terms of how the program itself is structured, so in term 1, you will take 2 modules with everyone on the program, regardless of their specialism. So, and then you'll take 2 modules in your specialism. So we have designed this so that you've got an opportunity to meet a really large, diverse group of people across the whole entire program, but also to have people that you get to know much closer in your specialism. So I want to just take a moment and talk about these specialisms and why we selected these specialisms for this program. So the first one I want to talk about is leadership. In today's healthcare world, we have seen, particularly through the pandemic, the need for really highly skilled managers and leaders in healthcare. So this program is really the leadership specialism, really builds those skills for you. It helps you really self-reflect, understand where you are, understand your leadership and management style and how that particularly applies to the health field. Now, one of our philosophies in this school is that health is not like any other sector in the economy. If you look across the world, you'll see that, maybe we all sell shoes the same way, but we surely don't deliver health the same way. We can see different health systems, different payers, different providers. We see that culture, because health, like education, is very much a people business. And so having those kind of leadership skills, being able to self-reflect, to understand your leadership style, and maybe also to understand the organizational style and how you bridge that gap. You're going to need to understand change management, how to drive change, how to embed change. I see a lot of healthcare organizations. They're very good about talking about change and innovation, but often healthcare leaders lack the ability and the skills to know how to embed that. So that's something that we're really keen to make sure that everyone on this program learns. And then leadership is about navigating power and politics. It's about resources as well. So we've got a special module just for that, to really teach you those skills. So the leadership specialism is a great route for people who really want to go into management and healthcare management during that process. The other one that's really important is analytics. Now, we did a survey of employers across the world, not just in the UK, to find out what areas they thought were most important and lacking with their current staff. Analytics comes up top of the list, healthcare analytics, because the only way that healthcare is going to be able to meet the demand and the needs of so many people is by adopting more technology, but also by using data more intelligently. So this isn't about making you a technocrat. This is about teaching you how to be a manager and to be informed about analytics and the tools and techniques, and to understand how to interpret, present, and visualize data and data analysis to help make business and decisions in healthcare. So again, a very important specialism. And the last specialism in this program that I want to speak about is finance. And of course, finance is probably one of the most contentious issues in healthcare today. For so long, we drove healthcare thinking solely about reducing costs and not thinking about the outcomes. And so we're moving into really different thinking about how we cost, price, and finance healthcare. And also, what techniques, what is the best way, who should be the payer, who should be, how should the system be organized? Much of that focuses on finance and the use of resources. So again, a very important specialism. So when you go to apply for this program, I just want to flag up to you that you will be asked from the very beginning to pick one of the specialisms. The reason we do that is because from the start of your program, you will be taking modules in your specialism. So you can't sign up for the program and then decide. So I really encourage you to take a very conscious look at kinds of specialisms. Think about who you are, where you're at, what you want out of this program, and then select one of the specialisms when you apply, because you can't apply just to the Global Healthcare Management Program. You have to apply to one of these routes, either leadership, finance, or analytics. Now, you will, as I said, half of your modules will be with everyone. Everyone on this program will take 50% of their modules together. You'll also do your business project with people from all three of the routes. We've done that on purpose because we want you to learn how to be part of a diverse team and to work on a project. Now, your project in this program will differ quite a bit from the biotech students and the digital health students, because you'll be developing a healthcare improvement from concept to business case. And you'll be putting that business case together and you'll also be presenting that as part of your assessment for this program. So it's a great opportunity to have something, again, that you can share with your future employers or your current employer as you advance up the ladder. And you will also have the opportunity to do a research project. That'll be an individual project, just like the other programs, where you get to choose a topic that you want to go really in depth on. So these are all really amazing programs and opportunities. So we do have some scholarships. As you'll see on all the screens, we have the tuition, we have the overseas tuition and the home tuition. And you'll also find that on our website and in the prospectus. But I want to just take a moment to talk to you about some of the funding opportunities that you may or may not be aware of. So we've got 2 scholarships just in the Global Business School of Health that you could apply for. If you're a woman, we have the Women's Healthcare Leaders Scholarship. Now, the reason we've created this program is because you might be surprised to know, and you may not, that actually even in places like the United States and the UK, women make up the vast majority of healthcare professionals. Actually, in the US, it's about 80%. In the UK, it's about 75%. But women don't make up the majority of leaders. In fact, they make up about 20% of the leaders. And then, of course, if we go globally, sadly, we see that women only make up about 5% of healthcare leaders. So we're really keen in the Global Business School of Health to help women accelerate their leadership skills. So we've created a scholarship program. You can get up to £5,000, but more importantly, all the students who receive the scholarship will also get coaching, career coaching. They'll get an ability to work with a coach across the program to help build up their personal skills as a leader, to help them move into leadership roles. And we're really excited about this program. We're looking to track these women to see if we can really make a difference in improving, the number of students that are prepared and can move on to senior management and C-suite roles. So if you're a female and you're interested in really making a game change around your leadership, that's a scholarship for you. We also have a scholarship for people in East London. And if you live or work in East London, you can apply for up to £5,000. That's because the Global Business School for Health is located on UCL's new site, which is in East London, in Stratford. And so we're very keen to connect with our local community. There are also, so if neither one of those scholarships, speak to you, there are other scholarships that you can apply to. And there are a number of scholarships available for international students. And I really encourage you to contact the British Council to find out about more opportunities. Also, if you're from the United States, you can get a US federal funding. You can get a student loan because UCL is, of course, a recognized institution of higher education. And we've listed some other scholarships. So if you go on to UCL's scholarship site, Scholarship Finders, you'll also find many other scholarships and programs that you can help fund your education with us on. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us if you're at all confused or want to apply to one of the programs and not quite sure. So now that brings me to really the career opportunities. This is a program. We're really proud of the Global Business School for Health. It's designed for professionals. We don't offer undergraduate programs. So our master students are so important to us. And we want to make sure that our master students come out with the best outcomes they can possibly have. So starting in your induction, we will start to work with you. We'll stretch you. We're going to have we'll have the Industry Mentors program that I mentioned to you. There'll be those mentors or companies that actually help you with your project, but we'll also have opportunities for you to have an individual mentor, somebody that you can meet with, say once a semester, who can give you advice, tell you about how to get into different industries. We also will have a program called Executives in Residence, which will be CEOs that will offer office hours and meet with students. This school is really connected to the business sector, and not just the UK business sector. We're connecting worldwide to really the business and health sector. So it's a great opportunity for you to make some really meaningful connections with different industry professionals to help advance yours. We also will be working very close with UCL Career Services, who do an excellent job. They come in right at the beginning of your program, help to make sure that you're on a track to get the job you want. We also will be working with innovation and enterprise services at UCL, and particularly for those of you who want to get into the startup space, that'll be very important, and there's lots of opportunities for you, and also UCL alumni networks. So it really is going to be a transformational experience for you to do these programs. And you're going to just find it also so fantastic to be around such a large group of individuals, your peers, change makers, people who share your interest, who share your passion to make a difference in health and healthcare. What a fabulous opportunity. And because this is going to be a global program with lots of people from lots of different places, you'll make friends all over the world. And trust me, I can tell you from my own experience, as you go through life, those will be some of the most important connections you will ever make. And those will be people that you will keep in contact years and years after you leave UCL. So it really is important for us as a professional school to make sure that the outcomes that you have, that every single one of you are able to achieve your ambitions and careers. So here are just some of the career destinations that we anticipate our students to go into. Of course, health consultancy is something that's growing at a very rapid rate. With so many health systems rethinking, reshaping, and we're seeing changes in healthcare. It's not just about kind of tinkering at the edges. We're seeing healthcare systems completely reinvented. So there's many opportunities for health consultancy. There's also numerous management roles. And we're hearing more and more about employers feeling like they don't have the right staff out there. So we have really designed these programs with your future employers and outcomes in mind. So there's big pharma, there's biotech, there's the public-private healthcare space. If you're in the UK, of course, there's the NHS, there's insurance companies, there's a World Health Organization. There are so many opportunities for those of you with these management skills. And then, of course, the pharma sector, and we've looked at the kinds of jobs. We've designed the program using labor market insights. We used a tool that really scans all the different job ads to see what these employers want. What are they looking for? And then last but not least, of course, is the startup space that many of you will probably end up in, or you might end up in a startup, even if it's taking someone else's idea forward. So that's really the academic program. But I also don't want to lose what's so special and important about being at UCL. And, I'm so excited. You're going to be in a brand new building, one of the first big builds by UCL in, decades. And the excitement of being able to be on the UCL East Campus, on the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. So it'll be an opportunity for you to really engage in sports, but you also are just, literally 8 minutes, to our Bloomsbury campus, where you can also join in on different events. But you can also create your own clubs. We can have a biotech and pharmaceutical club, a digital health club, a global healthcare management club. UCL is a great place to really engage, to meet other people, to really, have opportunities to kind of explore parts of yourself that you've maybe not had in the past. There's also lots of volunteering activities. And then, of course, student support and well-being. And we all need to feel healthy and safe when we go to university. And that's really important for us at UCL. So we have an excellent student support and well-being team. If you're feeling lonely or you're feeling challenged with your mental health, they've got counseling services that you can tap into, and wellness support. And then last but not least is our student union. And UCL has a real excellent student union. It doesn't only oversee clubs and societies and kind of UCL's politics, but they also have an advice service. So if you need any help from them, they're definitely there to support you. And then just a little more about life in London, and particularly our new campus. So if you look at this slide and you see those really big, colorful buildings on both sides of the river towering up, those will be your classroom. That is the new UCL campus at East London. So it's really exciting. It's state of the art. It's on the, as I said, the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. We've got some amazing neighbors coming in. We'll have museums. We'll have the BBC Music. We have the UAL London College of Fashion. And I just want to mention that in the one building, the towers where you see the red, we've also got hundreds of rooms for student housing, which is going to be very important for our students. So, and also it's a great part. It's a young part of London. There's lots of restaurants. It sits right next to the Westfield Shopping Center, which I believe is the largest shopping center in all of Europe. As I've already mentioned, you're just a train ride from getting from Stratford to St. Pancras International, which is, just the heart of London. And then the park itself is just beautiful. It's a beautiful location and a great place to be a student. And then moreover, you're in London. So if you're coming from abroad and you haven't been to London yet, it really is an amazing city. It's just got so much. It's not only grand in size and prestige, but there are a number of really fantastic museums, parks, more parks probably than I've seen in any country that I've lived in. And then of course there's the pubs, the clubs, the restaurants. It's just a fun place, great place to be a student and to really enjoy the student life while you're learning. So that's really, the programs, what we have to offer. I just want to tell you about a couple other events that you might be interested in. We'll be adding events as we go along, and we hope to add more specific events for different programs, and also to bring you lots of different speakers to hear and think about what your professional life could be like after you complete one of these degrees. So our next event, I just want to make sure to flag up to all of you, and you can go to our website for the Global Business School for Health to register. It's called Social and Environmental Responsibility for Health. We've got Penny Dash from McKinsey, Michael Marmont, who of course is a legend in terms of really developing social determinants of health. It's a great opportunity. We also have a colleague joining us from India who is at one of the most prestigious business schools in India. So it's a fantastic opportunity to really have some great speakers, interaction, discussion to talk about just social and environmental responsibility for health. We also have another upcoming event for our MBA information session and mastering your application. That will be on Friday, the 12th of November. And again, you can register for that through our website. And then last but not least, we'll have another MSc information session on the 19th of November. So we've got lots of events coming up, and we really hope that you will join us. In November, by the way, we have another webinar on wearables that will be quite interesting. These discussions are with really some of the biggest names in the field, so an opportunity for you to really engage. So that's our email and our website. If you don't already have it, it's ucl.ac.uk/global-business-school-health. So I really hope you enjoyed the presentation. I'm now going to take down my slides and start to address your questions. I'm really excited. I can see I've got 23. So if you've got a question, please put it over in the Q&A. Don't put it in the chat, put it in the Q&A, and I will start to go through those now. So I hope you really enjoyed that presentation, first of all. It was really great to have an opportunity to just show you and take you through. I get so excited myself when I talk about these programs, because they have really been designed with a lot of care and a lot of thought to your future and what will make an incredible journey for you as a student at UCL. So I'm going to start with the questions. I'm going to go first to the first question. Any prerequisite for a GMAT GRE score for this program? No, you can come on to all the MSCs, the Digital Health and Entrepreneurship MSc, the Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management MSc, and the Global Healthcare Management with roots, any of the roots, leadership, analytics, or finance. You do not need a GMAT or GRE. But if you are going to do the MBA in health, our health MBA does require a GMAT GRE. That is the only program where you will have to do those. Okay, the next question. When writing up the personal statement, does UCL have a specific word limit? The main application website has a text box which says you can write up to 3,000 words. But it also says if it is not enough, I can upload a document. Is there a word limit? My advice to you, do not write something extremely long. Make it very crisp. I'd make it maybe maximum, 6 paragraphs. Something that really addresses and helps the admissions tutor to understand your passion, where you've been, what you know, and where you're going. So I think I wouldn't worry so much about lengths. I would make sure, though, it's grammatically correct. I would make sure that it is coherent and really adds value above your CV and the rest of your application. So let's not focus on word count. We don't need a long essay, but we need something that's really concise, and that when you look at it, you believe that the person reading it really has a feel for you and your passion and why you want to do this program. Okay, the next question. Is the biotech and pharmaceutical management degree suitable for fresh graduates? Yes, absolutely. It can be for people who've been out for a while, but it's really designed for people who have not actually done the business and management of biotech and pharmaceutical management. So I would think someone, finishing a degree, particularly in areas of science, medicine, healthcare more generally, would find this an absolute transformational program to do. Would this program be relevant to people already in the pharma industry? I think you need to look at the modules. If you're in the business and management side, it may add some relevance and definitely fill some gaps. If you're more in the lab side, I'd say absolutely, and particularly with talking with professionals in pharma and also biotechs, they have all really like the program, and they think it's really relevant for their employees. And one of the reasons is they feel that many of their employees get into kind of niche departments, often working in labs, don't get the kind of business and management side of pharma and biotech. So if you're looking to pivot into that area or go up a management stream, I'd say it's very good for you. It is definitely for people who are in the industry. I'd also just add, I think it's a really good program for people who are like postdocs in labs or doing that kind of work and want to pivot over into the businesses of pharma and biotech. You're going to get a real holistic look, and the people that are going to teach you are real experts. They really understand that business side. The program leader will be somebody who's really worked in that and understands that. So yes, I wouldn't hesitate if I was working in pharma and wanted to move over or pivot or move up or accelerate my career in the business and management side. Hi, Nora. I'd like to ask, what qualities would you especially love to see from students with a business background, but a bio and healthcare dream, like in PC? I think really, I think analytical skills are going to be really important. All of these programs really, are going to kind of stretch some of you. And I think particularly if you're interested in, moving over, getting, and that's why we have the primers. It'll be very important for people coming from business backgrounds or business management student backgrounds that they do the kind of global health online, primer course ahead of time. And really what we're looking for is potential. We want people who are going to be passionate, who are going to make a difference in healthcare, who want to really drive a career in that area. So I think if that's you, then really, like I said, use the essay, the personal statement, as an opportunity to really pull that out and bring it forward. And on all of these programs, we put descriptions of the modules. Take a look at those. Look at all the modules. Think about your own background in that context. I think it's really important. Okay, so the next question, do you have any global health MSc degrees? Yes, they have those at UCL. So if you're not interested in getting a business and management perspective, you might take a look at those. Okay, how large are the cohorts expected to be for each of the MSc programs? So I think that's a really good question. We will take probably around 25, 30 onto the biotech and pharmaceutical management, 25, 30 on the digital health and entrepreneurship. We will be taking more on the global healthcare management because we have 3 routes. So we'll anticipate at least 20 students on each of those routes. So it varies a bit. We're keeping the cohorts very tight. And that's why also I think apply early. It is a rolling admissions at UCL. So we're already starting to get applications and we're evaluating those applications as they come in. So, it is important to apply as early as possible. Next question, do you need an IELTS score as an international student, even if you already have an English GCSE grade from a school in UK? I'm not sure. We can come back to you on that, or you can submit that to admissions. I would assume that if you've got that GCSE, English score, it should be okay. But I would just verify that with admissions. And if you want to email us, we can also check on that. In the second project mentioned in digital health and enterprise, a dissertation, if so, how long is it? So it's a shorter, so we call it a research project. We don't call it a dissertation. So, and I can't remember the exact lengths, but it's about half of what you would normally do on a dissertation, because normally a dissertation is 60 credits. What we've done is we've kind of moved away from the dissertation because we are a business school, and we have the 30 credits for the project and the 30 credits for that. So, if you, again, email us or look on the prospectus, you should be able to see the lengths of that assessment. And I can tell you it's going to be half of what you would normally do in a dissertation. So, Yingmu, thanks, Professor Colton, for sharing. You're very welcome, and I look forward to your application. The next one, might I ask, who can apply for a part-time program? Any prerequisite? The prerequisite for a part-time is same as a full-time. Also, you need to make sure that you qualify to do a part-time program. Part-time programs and flexible programs are usually for home students. So you need to check that out. I'm pretty sure as an international student, you would have to apply full-time, but if you're a home student, you should be able to do a part-time. But the prerequisite for getting into the program is the same. Hi, Nora. Will there be an interview in the application process? If yes, what form would it take? So, John Kang, no, we don't have an interview for these. So that's why, again, I keep emphasizing the personal statement. It's your chance to really highlight what may or may not be in the other documentation. These programs don't require an interview. The only interview will be if you're doing the MBA Health. Those do require an interview. All right. Is the women's scholarship only for working professionals who are already in higher positions, or can recent graduates be considered? If you are a woman, you can apply for these. It doesn't require you to already be a working professional. So I think it's really up to you to make the case of why you would, as a recent graduate, be a good candidate for this program. But please feel free to apply. My advice, by the way, to students is find all the scholarships you can apply for and apply for all of them, regardless. Spend some time. There's no reason not to. I'm always shocked about students who will put in a good application, but then not apply for scholarships. So definitely any scholarships you can find, British Council, any of the ones that I've mentioned, this one, if you can apply for it, apply for everything you can find. Is it possible to apply for 2 routes at the same time? For example, apply for the analytics and the finance. Yes, I believe you can, because UCL says that you can apply to up to 2 programs at UCL. So these are set up as individual programs, so you can apply for both those routes. If there's a problem, email us or admissions and we can clarify that. But I would imagine that you can apply for both two routes. I majored in humanities and I have taken like 4 months internship as a marketing intern in the healthcare industry. I'm very interested in working as a consultant strategist in healthcare industry in the future. Am I eligible for applying for the healthcare management with finance route? Yes, you are eligible to apply for that. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't specify that you have to come from a health background. So do apply for it. Will I learn anything about investing in healthcare in this program? Well, I don't know which program you're talking about, but in 2 of the programs, we do have the private equity, capital and private equity markets. We also have in the global healthcare management, if you do the finance stream, you'll get quite a bit on kind of, well, that module, you'll take that module. You'll also have everyone on the program, regardless which route they take, takes a kind of finance module. You'll also find that in the biotech and pharmaceutical one, and also in the digital health. So really, you'll learn about investing. And, of course, digital health and entrepreneurship, you'll learn about actually not just investing, but setting up your company and attracting investors. I'd say if you're interested in investing in healthcare, I would probably say do the global healthcare management with the finance track. Apologies, I missed the first half of the webinar. I'm interested in the health data analytics MSc. I worked in the NHS in the northeast of England. How much of this course is delivered online versus in person? Many thanks. Well, that program is not offered in the Global Business School for Health. So you would need to contact the Institute for Health Informatics. What we have in the Global Business School for Health is a global healthcare management MSc with a distinctive route in healthcare analytics. It's set up for people who are going to be managers rather than doing the technical side of health data. If you're interested in that, you'd get 4 modules in analytics, healthcare data analytics. And then you'd have 4 modules that are much more about leading and managing healthcare. So I would say, if I was you, I'd look at both of those MSCs. I'd look at doing the global healthcare management with the analytics route. And I'd also compare that to what you'd get if you did a health data analytics MSc in the Institute of Health Analytics. Next question. What is the difference between an MBA and an MSc Global Healthcare Management, especially for leadership route? If applicants have over 5 years work experience, but not in healthcare field, which one to apply to? Thanks. So these are really, that's a really great question. An MBA is a very different experience. An MBA, you're going to get, so MBAs by their very nature are general business and management degrees at an advanced level. That's why you can't do the MBA without having that work experience that you have. An MSc is very different. It's about just getting more specialized knowledge. So whereas if you do the global healthcare management, yes, you'll get a good rounded education in global healthcare management, but you won't get, it's a very, very different experience than the MBA. The MBA is really a very different cohort of students. The course is taught very different. It's taught very much about case studies and bringing in your personal experiences, because we assume everyone on the MBA has work experience. We do not assume people on the MSc Global Healthcare Management necessarily have that level of work experience. So there's the work experience aspect. There's the approach to the program. In the MBA, it's a much more, there's a standard kind of MBA curriculum that we will achieve along with health. So it is taught very differently. Your projects are very different. In the MBA, you'll do a health consultancy project along with a international global healthcare project where you go abroad for 2 weeks and work on a health, problem in a lower middle income country. So they're really different offers. So what I suggest to you, the MSc in global healthcare management, yes, that leadership route is an excellent, and it's really designed for giving you leadership, but it doesn't assume that you've already got experience and that and it's taught in a very different style because of that. So what I would suggest is that you look at they're delivered differently. The learning and teaching is different. There is some similarities in some of the content, but it's targeted to 2 different populations. So I would suggest you go to our website, take a look at the 2 programs, and then make your decision which one you prefer. So how big will the class for each program? So again, I think I've mentioned that, but we would expect about 25, 30 people on biotech and pharmaceutical management, digital health and entrepreneurship. And then for the global healthcare management, it'll have a much bigger group in the common modules, and then about 20, 25 on your route, your specialism. Let's see here. I am not in London, so not exactly sure where the campuses are situated. Will the business school be on the main campus? No, it will not be on the main campus. It will be at UCL East, which is part of London. It's on this tube. You can go there very quickly, but it's a new facility and a new campus that UCL is building in London. Will there be an interview when applying for the MSc Digital Health and Entrepreneurship program? No, you don't have to do an interview. And as I've said before, that's why it's so important to write a very good personal statement, and also make sure you get your reference and you pick a reference. Make sure that whoever you pick to do your reference, it can be a former employer, or it can be someone who you studied with. But make sure they know you and can really write a very targeted, specific one for you. The next question, how about the Health Informatics PhD program? The Health Informatics PhD program sits in the Institute of Health Informatics. So you'd need to actually reach out to them about doing a PhD. Hi, Professor Nora. Do I need to take IELTS again if I graduated from an undergraduate degree within a year in the UK? I would assume that you don't need to take the IELTS again. I assume that you can probably just submit your formal IELTS or your degree score from your undergraduate. But if you have any questions, please contact admissions. But I think you should be fine to apply. Thank Jin. Thanks for sharing. This new school is very exciting. I would like to know when the self-paced courses will be delivered. Self-paced courses sounds like a pre-study modules. Absolutely. So Feng Chen, once you're in the program, we would then, after we admit you over the kind of summer months before you start in September, we'd give you access to those online self-paced courses so that you could get them done prior to induction. And by the way, thanks for your positive comments. Hi there. I have to say it was an amazing introduction to the new school. As a Chinese student who are extremely interested in this program, may I know the academic requirements for students from China? Well, the academic requirements for students from China are the same as any international student. So the only difference between a home student and an international student is that international students have to provide an IELTS score. And you need to look at which program you're applying to so you know what the minimum IELTS score is. But other than that, it's the same process as anyone else applying for the program. So I look forward to your application. Annabelle. Hi, Nora. Lovely and informative presentation. Thank you, Annabelle. I have a few questions. One, the IELTS requirement is directed to overseas students. Is this any student paying the overseas fees, or is it for overseas students without UK education? Again, I'm not quite sure on that. I believe it's for students applying from overseas. From countries where they're not English speaking, but you can ask admissions and they should direct you appropriately. If you're an overseas student and you've been studying here, I'm not sure how that works. And of course, if you're a home student, you don't have to provide an IELTS score. It's just for overseas students. Two, the industrial mentors you were talking about in the MSc Digital and Health and Entrepreneurship, where are they from? Well, they'll mainly be here in London, but we'll be looking for overseas mentors as well. They will be people who have companies in the digital health space. So we've been networking and really have lots of connections and lots of people. So we'll have two kinds of mentoring scheme. One will be around your projects. So your program lead will make sure that you've not only got an academic supervisor, someone at UCL, someone teaching in school most likely, who will help your group on their prepare their project, but we'll also then add in someone from a company, particularly for the digital health. They'll be mainly from startup companies here in the UK. And I can tell you, I've talked to people in the biotech sector, digital sector, they are really excited. There's a lot of really goodwill and excitement about this school. And so those will be people who will have been doing startups. Maybe they've had more than one startup, more than one idea that they've taken to market in the digital health space. Three, does the university support international startups or international focused solutions? Absolutely. This is a global business school for health. Also, across UCL, we've had many students who came with really great ideas. They were supported by innovation and enterprise at UCL, and they weren't home students. So there's really, when you're a student at UCL, you're a student at UCL. It doesn't matter if you're international or home. Does UCL offer placements as well? We don't have placements in the school at this moment, but there are ways that you can go through UCL Career Services and look for placements. Of course, also, if you're coming from overseas, I'm sure you already know, you can work up to 20 hours a week while you're a student. And also, if you do a master's degree in the UK, you qualify for what's called a post-study work visa, where you can stay in the UK and work for 2 years afterwards. So there's lots of opportunities to get work. Currently, we have projects and we'll provide mentors and opportunities for you to take ideas forward and work with industrial mentors. We don't actually offer placements in the school, but I'm sure you can secure a placement. Dear Professor Nora Colton, I want to check if I am qualified to apply for this program starting in September 2022. Since I'm currently in my graduate study, all courses are expected to be completed in July 2022, but the certificate will be issued around November 2022. I believe that you should be fine to apply, but again, I suggest you either write to us or you contact admissions. You'll be given a conditional offer until they have evidence that you have secured your degree. So you might need to, if you've completed by July 2022, what you might have to do is have your university send some sort of letter or evidence. But again, since you already know that, I think it's worth just contacting admissions now and finding out how that can be dealt with. But you should be able to, if you've completed by July 22 and can evidence that, you should be able to apply for September 2022. I hope that's helpful, but you will have a conditional offer until you provide that evidence. Hi, thank you for your sharing. Could you please share us with the slides or the recording? I'm a little bit late and didn't hear from the beginning. So yes, we will put the recording up on our website, and you can take a look at it later on. Any quantitative skills needed for applying for the program, like Java or Python? No, this is really a business school. And so you might use some of those tools, particularly if you do the analytics route in the global healthcare management, but we don't expect you to come in having already done those. So you shouldn't, that shouldn't be a concern. But you should look at the modules, make sure you're comfortable with the level of kind of quantitative work that you might have to undertake. Dear admissions officer, I'd like to ask when we will be informed of admissions results if we apply in the near future. Thanks a lot. So normally it will take a little while depending on, you know, how first of all, if you want to get a decision relatively quickly, make sure when you submit your application, you get everything submitted as quickly as possible. If you're missing just one piece from your application application packet, we won't be able to look at your application. So it's really important that you get everything in. If you get everything in and you get it in early, it should be processed relatively quickly, but UCL can take up to 6 weeks. So that's why I really encourage you to get it in as fast as you can. Of course, make sure you do a good job and everything is in a form that you feel comfortable with. But I wouldn't delay, because once we get further down into the year, the admissions process may be slow, but we will get to your application. And if you have any questions or you start to get worried after 6 weeks, you can always reach out to us and we can tell you where your application is in the process. Will there be negative effect if I hand in IELTS which did not meet the need when I hand in my application? Yeah, you don't apply if you cannot meet those IELTS scores. So if you applying to a program and it's 6.5 and above and 6 in all the subject areas and you're not there yet, then don't apply. Wait, take your IELTS again, and then apply. Or submit all your other information and focus down on your IELTS and get your IELTS score up. But we cannot take anyone who does not meet that standard IELTS score. How many students does UCL plan to admit in 2022 for global healthcare management, roughly? Roughly about 60, 20 on each of the subspecialties. So we may offer a few more places. It really, but it'll be around that number for the first year. If we haven't done Mass Business BSc degree for a bioscience degree, would it be suitable to do an MSc in Global Healthcare Finance Analytics? Yes, we don't require you to have that kind of particular background, but I do, again, highly recommend that you take a look at the modules and make sure that you feel comfortable with taking those modules and the kind of level at which they'll be taught at. Do you offer interview opportunities for candidates who are possibly eligible? No, we don't. We have interviews for the MBA in health, but given the number of applications that we anticipate for these programs, we don't offer interviews. If you'd like to have a chat with someone or have questions, please feel free to email us and we'll definitely get back to you. Hi, Nora. The question I forgot to put in UCL, how many degrees can you apply to for master's? I believe the university will allow you to apply up to 2 programs. So you can apply to 2 different programs at the same at UCL. I am from China. Will I be restricted to apply because my school is not a 211 project? No, as long as you're a NARC kind of recognized university, you should be fine. So again, if you're worried, you can also write to admissions and give them the name of your school and make sure that it should be okay. Thank you very much, Nora. That's from Emily. Thank you, Emily, so much for attending, and I hope you apply. Hello, Nora. I'm interested in healthcare industry, who is a graduate with a business background, but I have no relevant internship experience in healthcare field. Can I apply for the global healthcare management? Yes, you can. Of course, we would expect you to take our global healthcare or global health primer, self-paced module online ahead of time, but we have purposely made the entry requirement so that we can get a diverse group of people. And we want to get people who maybe haven't thought about health, but now want to go into health. So you can definitely apply. Apologies as I came late. How do the Sustainable Development Goals incorporate into the curriculum? That's a brilliant question. So we haven't mapped the Sustainable Development Goals, but we've thought a lot about them. So for example, even in the Global Healthcare Management program, when you take the Human Resource Management module, it'll be a lot about equality, diversity, and inclusion. When you take on the digital health or that program, the changing health systems, it will bring a lot in about the SDGs. And really, as part of our mission and our school, and the webinar that we're having next week is a great example. The SDGs, and particularly SDG 3 around health, is really a guiding principle for everything we do, because we want to really make a difference in health and healthcare. I have an overall IELTS score of 7.5. However, I have a 6.0 in one subfield. Do I have to give IELTS again? Well, again, it depends on which program you're applying for. If you're applying for the digital health and entrepreneurship or the global healthcare management, one of the routes, you'll be fine because those you only have to have a 6.5 and you can have a 6 in one of the sub areas. But if you want to do biotech and pharmaceutical management, you will have to take it again because you'll need to have a 6.5 in all the subfields. Hi, Nora. I was wondering, what is the proportion of online learning and face-to-face teaching on these programs? That's a really good question. There'll be some online learning, but these are really designed as face-to-face programs. So you'll be expected to be on campus in a classroom 2 to 3 days a week. The online material will be really about what we call the flipped classroom, where you will prepare, maybe watch a lecture, do some readings online prior to coming to class for the classroom discussion. So there will be some lectures that we'll put online, particularly for some of the bigger lectures. We find particularly that students just really like that, actually. And then when you come to class, it'll be much more interactive. But you will have quite a bit of class time. These are face-to-face programs. Hello, Professor Nora. I'm a third-year student at UCL. Thank you for the presentation. You're welcome. I'm just wondering, during the admissions process, will you look at the average of my 120 credit grades in year 2, or only the average of my best 90 credit scores? Well, how it works is we're going to look at your overall, so whatever your kind of the cumulative classification is. So it's, and I see where you're going. And of course, with everything, it will be looking to see you as a person. So your personal statement, your grades will be a part of that. So I guess the long and the short of it is, we'll be looking at the overall kind of mark and classification that you'll get. So, and I would imagine that would be impacted by your best 90 credit scores. I hope that's helpful. Ying Zhang says, thanks, you're welcome. Good afternoon, Nora. Thank you for your amazing presentation. Well, you're welcome. Could I ask that how many students will be admitted to the program? Again, it really depends on the program, as I've said before. We're probably talking 25, 30, except for the global healthcare management, where we'll take more, but it'll be divided by the different routes. As a student who holds a bachelor's degree of accounting but is interested in healthcare management, could I also have a chance to be admitted to you? What qualities of students do you prefer? Experience of health management? No, I think if you've got a background in accounting, you might find the global healthcare management. You could do the digital health as well. Those are all great programs for people with your background. And as I said before, we're open to students who want to pivot into health. So the most important thing, I think, is in your statement to make sure that you make it very clear what you want to do and why you'd want to take your accounting background into health management. Hello, I'm wondering, will candidates be interviewed to get in? No, for the MSCs, you don't have to do an interview, but if you do our MBA health, you will have an interview. Another question, what qualities do you value most in a candidate? I think, first of all, making sure that you've shown a pattern of achieving and accomplishing things in the academy through where you are in your career or your work, but also really, again, I can't emphasize how much that personal statement is going to be important for us. We're looking for people who want to be change makers, people who really want to make a difference to health and healthcare. So making sure you get that across in your personal statement will be really important. We want people who want to make a difference. Thanks for sharing, Nora. How many students does UCL plan to admit in 2022 into the digital health and entrepreneurship? So I believe that's around 30 students, 25, 30 students. I can't remember exactly, but something around there is how many we hope to enroll. Nora, thank you for sharing. You are welcome. Hi, Nora, thank you for sharing. Will you consider students with accounting background as an advantage for applying for the Global Health Management Finance route? It is a very good background for doing that particular program. So if you've got that background, I would definitely feel free to apply. Okay, so we're almost to 1:30. I just had another one pop in. Does UCL provide student accommodations? There will be brand new student accommodations at UCL East, and UCL does have some student accommodations. Again, I would really encourage you to apply as soon as possible. Also, I know that near the UCL East campus, where we'll be teaching, there also is a Unite facility with housing. So as I said, UCL is building student accommodations at UCL East as we speak, and those will be available for UCL students. And UCL also has other facilities. And there's also lots of student private facilities in and around that area. Okay, well, I've really enjoyed. You've been a fantastic audience, great group of people to chat with. I look forward to all of your applications, and moreover, I look forward to having you in the Global Business School of Health. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day, evening, depending on where you are. Bye.